What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another patch notes update review. And today we have 11.12. As you can see, this was 2 days ago. I'm late again. Clearly I'm not seeing the notifications in which these go live, but I also expected 11.11 bonus balance to be a thing, but it's not. We skipped the bonus balance, which we usually don't do, and went right to Ghost of Holiday Past 11.12. So here we are, and this does go live next Tuesday, which I believe is the 10th. Today is Sunday 8th, Monday 9th, Tuesday 10th. So this will be going live 11.12 on Tuesday, and as per usual, the update to, or the patch notes to this, will be in the description down below if you'd like to take a look at it yourself. Without further ado, let's get into this. So I have looked a little bit at this. I skimmed through it on stream because I didn't know this was a thing until someone told me. So I do know a couple things. I didn't read too much into it. I don't want to spoil myself too much, but there is a few things that I do know is coming. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into this. 2 new skins, cool. They're gonna come to Smite 2, whatever. There is a Lord of the Rings event going on for Smite 1 and Smite 2, so that's interesting, I guess. Pretty cool. And then the viewer store, spend your points before January 21st, 2025. The viewer store will be removed at that point. That's interesting. Smite 1 and viewer points Twitch drops will no longer be available. Huh. I'm curious to think that this means that Smite, they're trying to make it to where they don't want anyone to watch Smite 1 or play Smite 1. They're trying to make it to where everyone transitions over to Smite 2. Is sort of what I'm getting from there. Because if you don't know, whenever you watch Twitch, you do get Twitch drops for viewer points and whatever, and to Smite 1. Now maybe it's just the viewer store. Maybe there'll still be Twitch drops in and other things such as like actual skin drops for whatever. But yeah, there you go. So viewer store will not be available after 21st, and you need to spend your viewer points, and that has some implications for Smite 1 in terms of viewership for Twitch, and actually for the player base for Smite 1. All right, so into the items. First up, we have Telkine's Ring. So you're increasing magical power from 45 to 55, an extra 10. Increase attack speed by 5%. This was one of the items, one of the rings that I liked back in the day, but I haven't really picked up much or really played any of the guys that really benefit from this ring, to be quite frank. But I didn't, whenever I did, like, if I played Soul or Chronos or Oleron or whatever, I was always reluctant to pick this up. So I think this is a nice little touch here that they added. Extra 10 power and extra 5% attack speed is actually, it's pretty decent. And then Ring of Hecate, increase magical power by 10, increase attack speed by 5. So very similar to Telkine's Ring. Ring of Hecate was another ring that we didn't really like picking up. At least personally, I liked what is the other ring? Cyclopean Ring and Demonic Grip, I think, are a lot better than these two, and so I usually picked up those, especially if you're trying to kill some tanks, do more damage to tanks. So this is actually pretty good buff here. Increased duration of hex buff and debuff by 3 extra seconds, which is really nice too. And honestly, AA mages, I think, need a little bit, a little bit of buff. So I think indirectly this buffs them, which is pretty nice. Mail of Renewal, decreased cost from 2200 to 2100, very similar to a lot of the other items that no one fucking buys and still don't buy, like Cannoneer's Caress. They're doing the same thing here. I don't think this is gonna be picked up all too much. It's not a bad item, it's just not a great item when considering other items are just better for what this does, like Gauntlet of Thebes, Shifter Shield, even Prophetic Cloak. I'd rather pick up a Prophetic Cloak than Mail of Renewal, but again, not a bad item. It'll make it more an incentive to buy this since it's 100 gold cheaper, but I'm still not going to pick this up most likely. And then we're buffing Gauntlet of Thebes. We're increasing health by 50. I don't know why you would buff Mail of Renewal and then buff Gauntlet of Thebes in the same vein, I guess, but that's fine. I'm still picking up Gauntlet of Thebes, and you're making it 50 more health. I'm just gonna be picking up more now, even though I was doing this all the time anyways. So that's all the buffs. Really, the only thing that's nice here are the rings for the AA mages, but nothing much else here, as per a lot of the buffs recently, or patch notes recently. Not getting a buff, which is nice. Decreased cooldown from 13 to 12 seconds. That's one of her, bread and butter when it comes to her one, being able to do more damage on cooldown. It's nice. Or 1 second, sooner on the cooldowns, pretty nice. Skyfall, increased damage scaling from 80% to 90%. Increased surge damage from 80 to 160. Plus 40% of scaling to 85 to 185 plus 45%. So that's actually a pretty decent buff there. It goes initially by 5 power at the start, and then once you get maxed out, it is an extra 25 damage plus an extra 5% scaling, which is actually pretty nice. Plus you're getting increased damage scaling altogether by 10%. So that's actually be doing a lot more damage now. I didn't even account for this part as well. So an extra 10% scaling plus an extra 5 on the surge damage plus 25 extra damage initially at the end. So that's actually pretty big buff here. An extra 1 second sooner on the cooldown number 1. That's actually a pretty good buff. I actually like that. Has not been one of those gods / hunters that are all that great, I'm gonna be honest. So that's actually pretty nice. I did see this. Ishtar's getting another fucking buff. My god. This is like the 9th buff. I swear to god. This god is so close to being S tier in my opinion, and no one plays this bitch, but I might have to. I think I'm gonna start playing her more often just to showcase how good she is. I know I did a video on her, but like another fucking buff is insane. So Rolling Thunder, that's her 2. You usually build this up first, or level this up first, so you're gonna get the benefits pretty quickly. Decrease cooldown from 15 to 13 to 14 to 12. Okay, never mind. You're getting it right out the gate. Right out the gate, it's just a flat 1 second sooner. You don't have to build up by leveling it up. So it's extra a second sooner, and then Blade's Retribution, her ult, increased damage from 80 to 180 to plus 50% of scaling to 90 to 190 plus 55. So an extra 10 power and 5% scaling. And just to be clear, with all the other buffs that she's gotten, these add up pretty tremendously, and I think she's one of the best. She's getting up there to be one of the best hunters in my opinion. I think she's honorable mention as being one of the best hunters. Thoth getting a buff, which I'm not really opposed to. Honestly, Thoth has not really been in the greatest of positions. Hieroglyphic Assault, that's his one. Increased damage from 45 to 125 to 50 to 130. Again, you get 3 charges of these. My god, I can't speak. So you're actually getting an extra 15 damage if you think about it when you use your one. So that's actually not bad. Evade and Punish, decrease cooldown from 16 to 12 to 14 to 12, so an extra 2 seconds, making him a lot more survivable. One of the biggest things about him is that, yeah, he can run away, and he's actually pretty slippery a lot of times, but if you play correctly, his 2 and dashing away isn't all that safe. So that's actually pretty nice for the decreased cooldown. Alright, Ishel. I haven't seen her in a while, and I'm not opposed to this either. I think Ishel is a solid mage. Not the best, but definitely a solid mage. Decreased cooldown from 15 to 14 in her 2. This is her heal. Wait, is that her 2? Yeah, that's her 2. Increased damage scaling from 75 to 80%, so that is her 3. So she's doing an extra little bit of scaling damage, which is always nice on the mages, and then decreased cooldown on her 2. Small buff. Don't think it's going to change her too much, but small. Here, Fearless. Increased assault stance damage from 40 to 240 to 50 to 250, so an extra 10 damage there. Increased guard stance by 10 as well, and then decreased cooldown from 15 to 13 to 14 to 12. Okay, so Another part of his bread and butter kit is this initiation with Fearless. And its cooldown being decreased by 1 right out the gate, and I think he needed it. Tyr's just not been in a great spot. So an extra 10 damage, and on cooldowns to make it to where he's gonna spam out more shit. So people who love Tyr, have fun. The people who hate Tyr, sorry. Achilles getting a buff. I did see this as well. Decreased cooldown from 14 to 13 in his one, which is I mean, Achilles has always been getting buffs. He just hasn't been great in Conquest. That's what I've gathered. So this really only has implications for Joust. So that's actually pretty nice. An extra 1 second cooldown. Combat dodge, increased damage from 65 to 205 plus 45% scaling to 70 to 210. So an extra 5 damage plus 5% scaling. So again, you get 2 charges of these. So the extra damage is going to be nice. And having this on a shorter cooldown is going to make him really good. He's always been one of your best warriors in Joust. Not so much recently because of all the other gods that are just playing better, but with this, I mean, I personally think he's like A plus, borderline S, depending on who's piloting them. But with these buffs, it might be edging towards that S spot a little bit closer. We'll have to see how much of an impact this is, but this one may not seem like a lot. An extra 5 power or 5 damage plus 5% scaling, but you get 2 charges of these, and you're gonna have your one up a lot more. So the DPS is gonna go up significantly. Yemoja is getting a buff, increased basic attack healing per level from 0.4 to 0.5. So an extra 0.1 in her Omi, and then decreased cooldown from 140 to 120 to 120 at rank. That's actually really nice. I think Yemoja is such an interesting god because obviously she's like one of the hardest guardians to play, but if you are able to master her, she's like one of the best fucking guardians. And I think, I don't know, having a 140 second cooldown is pretty wild. So, and 120 is still a pretty significant, you know, duration compared to a lot of these other gods. So honestly, this should have been like this already. So I'm actually not opposed to this, and I actually do like this. I think one of her biggest things with her is using her ult, as that's like the biggest part of her kit. It's like the coolest part of her kit as well. Let's see this as well. Kuzenbo getting a buff, so I think he's probably back in ban after this. Decreased cooldown from 14 to 14 to 12. I mean, you level up your one anyways first, so you're gonna get that 12 seconds like right out the gate, basically. And considering that when you use your 2, you pop your 2 and you get more cooldowns on all your abilities, you're gonna be spamming the fuck out of your fucking nanes. You're gonna have like 3 nanes up at like one time, which is insane to me. Sumo Slam, that's his 3 increased damage scaling per hit from 35% to 40, an extra 5% scaling. So great. Can't wait to put Curse Weaver on this and just throw them into the minions and kill whoever, meanwhile throwing out 3 kappas. Yeah, he's gonna be back. He never really was gone. I think he was like top S, but SS ban in my opinion after this. We'll have to see though. Thor, I do like this. I think Thor is still a really good underrated assassin that nobody really plays. So I'm not opposed to this buff. Berserker's Barrage, this is 3, I believe. Decreased cooldown from 12 to 10 seconds at all rank, which is really nice. 10 seconds at all ranks, pretty crazy. You gotta have your 3 up all the time. I believe that's his 3. I haven't played Thor in so long. Okay, yeah, it makes sense too. Berserker's Barrage, it is his 3. I was thinking maybe it was his 1 potentially. Regardless, increased arc damage from 10 to 30 to 10 to 42. I'm gonna be honest. Let's see. So at max rank is the only time it's gonna be a exponential effect. It looks like. Or wait, yeah. So 10 initially, 18, 20 to 26, 25 to 34, and then 30 to 42. Let's see. So that's his damage for 6 seconds after landing. When Thor deals damage to a god, lightning will arc, damage the enemy hit, and up to 2 additional enemies within 35 units. Subsequent lightning hits deal 50% damage. So you're gonna be doing a lot more damage on once you level it up to max as well, which is pretty nice. It's actually a significant amount more damage compared to what it was before, so that's pretty good as well. So pretty good Thor buffs. This one's actually pretty interesting. I'll have to see how this actually plays out. Rat, so he's getting, basically he's getting buffed in a way through the items, because these items are only built through him. So thick bark acorn, increased protections from 10 to 12%, increased maximum health from 15% to 18%, increased physical power by 10, and then increased basic attack damage from 20 to 25%. So see if I can fit them all on one screen. I can. There you go. Okay, pretty cool. Not gonna have that many. He's not gonna be that great in Joust with these. It's just small buffs. So probably any type of conquest play style with this, which I do like. I like how they reverted Rat with these items specifically. So that's pretty cool. I usually, when I play Rat, I'm usually building Evergreen or Thick Bark Acorn, as these ones are pretty good in Just as like some more of a hybrid type character. Cthulhu getting a nerf, so I think he's officially S. I didn't really think he was a ban recently. I mean, he's still really fucking good. I don't get me wrong, but I just don't think he's that crazy. Like, I've played the Cthulhu, he does a lot of damage if you're not played against correctly, but like, if you build a hunter with kins or like an AA warrior with kins, he just absolutely gets shredded. So I personally don't think he's SS. I think he's probably top of S, and with these nerfs, I think that as well. I'm not going to be banning him nearly as much. But we'll see. So Insanity Break, increased cooldown from 14 to 10 to 14 to 12. So the more you level this up, yeah, the less impactful, or I'm sorry, the cooldown's gonna be on longer. So you're losing 2 seconds when you max rank this. The Mire decreased damage from 60 to 40 to 60 to 20. So 20 damage at max rank once you level it up. It goes exponentially as well, so less damage on longer cooldown. There it is. I think Cthulhu needs it anyways. It's a solid nerf. Ao Kuang nerf, this has got to be strictly for fucking Conquest because he's bad in Joust. This is still nerf, right? Yeah. Increased cooldown from 15 to 16. That's his 1, making him invisible. That's a really long cooldown. Makes sense to why it is, but still, Jesus. Dragon Call increased cooldown from 15 to 11 to 15 to 13, extra 2 seconds. That's a lot. And then decreased damage scaling from 40% to 35%. So that's a pretty big nerf. I mean, for you players who actually play Ao Kuang, this kind of sucks, but yeah, I mean, he wasn't really good to begin with, so it's not that big of a deal. Athena getting nerfed. This is strictly Conquest, has to be. Decreased taunt duration from 1 to 2 seconds to 1 to 1.8 seconds. So I'm trying to think, because my cat's meowing in the back and he's pissing me off. Decreased taunt duration from 1 to 2 seconds to 1 to 1.8. So you're losing 0.2 seconds, which is interesting. That's like one of Athena's things, is her taunt. That's all she does. Like, she does like a tiny bit of damage, but and obviously her ult. That's kind of like her bread and butter. You dash in 2 or dash in 3-2 or just 2-3 or 3-2. 0.2 seconds doesn't seem like a lot, but I don't know, when you think about DR and shit like that, that will have an impact. Don't know how I feel about that. Defender of Olympus reduced damage from 330 to 630 plus 90% to 320 to 620. So you're losing 5% scaling and 10 damage. So that's not too crazy. Taunt duration, I don't know how I feel about that. Maybe we should have left that alone. I think Athena's in a it's one of those guys where she either gets buffed or nerfed, and like when they nerf, they just can't figure her out. I feel like it's because of the way she's designed. She's a very good, like, her taunts are one of the best fucking CCs in the game. And when you just have a taunt up every fucking 10 seconds, you know, I don't know. Another Conquest has to be Clay Soldiers decreased protection reduction per stack from 4 to 16 to 4 to 12. I'm not opposed to this. I absolutely hate the Clay Soldiers. They do so much fucking damage to you for no goddamn reason. Even if you build tanky, especially if you build tanky, these fucks just destroy you. So making it to where their protections are reduced, I actually like that a lot. And then her 3 Shining Metal increased cooldown from 9 seconds to 10 seconds. That's fine as well. So you're gonna have your 3 up a lot less, and then, you know, minions are gonna be a lot easier to kill, which I'm totally fine with. And then last but not least, Scotty's getting a nerf for some fucking reason. Calder, her 2 increased time to regenerate 1 HP from 4 to 5 seconds. So let's see, she has 5, so 4 times 5 is 20 seconds. So you're actually adding an extra 5 seconds onto Pulley heal Calder, which is interesting. And an increased cooldown from 90 seconds to 100 seconds. That's interesting as well. That's a pretty short cooldown for her ult. Or I wouldn't say short, but like, you know, not the shortest, not the longest, just a pretty normal cooldown, I think. Getting to 100 seconds is getting up to that higher end of cooldown. So yeah, I disagree with this because I play Joust, but maybe in Conquest she's like really fucking good. Personally, whenever I played Conquest back in the day, like several months ago when I was like really into Conquest, Calder was bad. Like, unless you were playing gold lobbies or plat lobbies, like Calder is just bad from my experience. So hey, I guess a lot of these are Conquest nerfs, which makes sense. So Scotty, Nuwa, Athena, Ao Kuang has like no implications on Joust. I'm sorry, yeah, no, they don't really. I don't know what the fuck just happened there. Interesting. Cthulhu, that's a big nerf. I think it's gonna bring him down a tier. All these other ones like Nuwa's gonna be less annoying. You don't see Athena or Ao Kuang. Rat buffs are okay. Thor's a pretty good buff. I think that probably pushes him up a tier, maybe. Extra cooldown and then extra arc damage on his ult. Kuzumbo, that's really big as well. I think that brings him back up to SS. Yamojo's pretty solid. Achilles is a pretty solid buff. Tears an okay buff. This is a very small buff. Nothing crazy. This one's a pretty solid buff. Mainly with the 2, making it to where he's able to have his 2 up all the time. Ishtar, another fucking buff. Small and steady, or short and I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. But small increases over time, making it to where she's like, I think she's really fucking good. This is a pretty big buff. I like this a lot, making it doesn't seem like a lot, but when that's not that good of a god. And I think that this extra scaling damage and shit with her ult's gonna be really, really nice. Melee renewals, whatever. Gauntlet of Thebes is kind of whatever too. It's nice, but we kind of already built Gauntlet of Thebes here. And then the rings are a pretty significant buff. I've got to say, an extra 10 power, 5% increase attack speed, make it to where if I'm going to play these gods, I don't mind picking up Telkines right now. Same with Ring of Akate, because these 2 rings I would just like not look at a lot, and I just build like Bancroft's Talon into the glyph with like Typhons, and then the other 2 rings, and then we just go from there. But now I'm not opposed to building these items now. Look at them a lot differently. But that is everything for 11.12. I believe we're gonna have 11.12 bonus balance. I don't actually fucking know because we didn't have 11.11 bonus balance, but that's usually what happens. If not, we'll have 11.13, and I think that is the end. And then again, another implication here with the viewer store leaving January 21st, 2025. And with viewer points, Twitch drops will no longer be available. That just seems to implicate to me that, or imply to me that they don't want to add any type of Twitch drops, which means that they're probably going to try and transition Smite 1 to Smite 2, make it 2 where there's more incentives to go to Smite 2 than Smite 1, which kind of makes sense, but I don't actually know. That's just what I feel like's happening. But make sure you spend your viewer points before the 21st of January next year, and then you'll be good. But that is everything for your update patch notes review. If you do like my content, please like, comment, and subscribe. It's very helpful. And let me know what you guys think about these patch notes in the or into the comment section down below if you would like. I can't fucking talk today, dude. But yeah, Discord in the description down below. Again, the patch notes will be in the description down below as well. And we have my memberships open. I believe it's $2.99 a month if you'd like to join. Obviously not necessary. You simply watching my videos is good enough for me. But yeah, I think that is everything that I have for you. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching.